suddenly on the defensive. Mind you, Al Jr. spent the last 3 laps or 4 laps waving at Bozell, trying to get him to move out of the way.
So the order has changed substantially with some interesting incidents and attrition, putting Unser Jr. on top, then Rahal, then DeFerrin in 3rd. Villeneuve is now in 4th. Robbie Gordon is in 5th. 3 different chassis in the top 3 positions. Rahal in a Lola, DeFerrin in a Renard, and of course Al Unser Jr. in his Penske.
You have to see it to believe it. Automania, Antelope Valley's home of automobilia. What's automobilia? Everything and anything to do with cars. Remember Hot Wheels? Automania's got them. Plus posters, die-cast, T-shirts and hats, NASCAR, Indy, Formula One, everything for racing fans, plus plenty for cruisers. All the cool stuff they love. Test your skill on Automania's computerized slot car track. Open Monday through Saturday. If you're crazy about cars and racing, then you'll be in the winner's circle at Automania. 50th Street West and M and Quartz Hill. Automania.
There's the leader of the race, Al Unser Jr. You see that Bobby Rahal is just behind him. Rahal has been a little bit closer, but then faltered a few laps ago, and now is working his way back to try and catch Al Unser Jr. DeFerrin is 3rd, despite that incident on the 1st lap. 4th is Jack Villeneuve. And, of course, in that position, he is going to leave here scoring his IndyCar championship in Canada. But there are many other factors that are going to fit into that situation. We look down from the Honda Helicam as we watch Al Unser Jr. flash across the start-finish line and into turn 1 right alongside the stadium here. The real question is going to be one of fuel. Now, the presumption is that I'm making that everybody at the front of the field is going to have to stop. Villeneuve is going to have to stop, I think, a little bit ahead of everybody else. Gary Gerald, can you help us out on this?
We can certainly try. Now, keep in mind that Al Unser Jr. pitted on lap 57. That means that they got 2 laps of yellow. They went green then after 59. He'd have to go 41 laps, which is really stretching it in our estimation to be able to go the distance. Bobby Rahal, who's running 2nd, pitted 5 laps prior to him. He had tire problems. Remember, both of the fronts were blistered. So we think definitely that camp will have to go for fuel. The question here with the Penske team is going to be very iffy. If they get more yellow, that helps them. If they don't, they may have to get a splash.
Of course, 2 Mercedes engines at the front of the field, Unser Jr. and Rahal. Let's go for further information to Jan Beekes.
Paul, you're asking about Jacques Villeneuve. Now, he came in on lap number 51, so he is trying very, very hard, along with Team Green, to save fuel. They're trying to make it to the end, but I see no possible way that Jacques Villeneuve can make it to the end of the race without bringing it in and getting a splash of fuel. Now, for Robbie Gordon and some of the others that pitted on that full course yellow, according to their teams, they do feel they can make it to the end, but not as early as lap 51 as we have for Villeneuve.
All right, so let's set that scenario. The front of the field, Unser Jr., Rahal. You just heard Gary Gerald's estimate. Now then, 3rd place is DeFerrin and then Villeneuve. All right, right behind Villeneuve, lined up in such a way that, in all likelihood, if Jack stops, Robbie Gordon in 5th, Pruitt in 6th, and Johansson in 7th would all come past. Now that would put Jack into 6th position. And he could still win the title from 6th. But look at this. He just got hit. He just got hit by Goodyear. Goodyear's trying to save the car. He's in trouble, comes off. Thought he was going to make the turn into the pits despite the damaged tire. Didn't do it. Well, that doesn't change that scenario, except how much trouble might he be in? He doesn't look like he's running full tilt now.
Well, Scott Goodyear was taken by surprise there because Jacques Villeneuve suddenly slowed coming out of the notch. The group of cars behind him was suddenly, Goodyear pulled out of line, jumped ahead, thought he was past Villeneuve, pulled over, and you can see the damage to the right front wing in Jacques Villeneuve's car there. Villeneuve suddenly goes slow. Look at Goodyear. Thinks he's by, boom, clouts the wing of Jacques Villeneuve, destroys his left rear tire, and now he luckily gets down the escape road, or else Scott Goodyear was in for a hefty accident here. Look at Pruitt and Johansson down the inside. They get to watch. and stand clear.
And another key to that situation right there, as we watch Goodyear come into the pits, is that Scott Pruitt got past and put Villeneuve to 7th. And if he stays in 7th, Jan Bikas, the championship goes on to Laguna Seca in a week.
Yes, we had the opportunity to check with Team Green, and right now they're all huddled around, and they've not been able to give us an answer if there is a problem with Jacques after that contact. But he didn't look as though he was at full speed when he went by us. Right now, a lot of discussion going on here at Team Green.
Yeah, there are cars going past him that should not. Jack is apparently in fairly serious trouble right now with regard to the race and the championship. Unser Jr. is where he needs to be, at the top of the order.
Unser Jr. still on the lead. Enjoy.
Look, you know Goodyear tires. Everybody knows.
In the world of motorsports, check out RPM tonight on ESPN2, the world premiere, a weekly Sunday night motorsports program at 8 o'clock Eastern. Back in Vancouver, Jacques Villeneuve, he's got a problem. Al Unser Jr. has put him a lap down. Now Gilles de Ferran is closing in to put him a lap down as well. He is not in a position to take the championship. He runs 8th. The leader of the race is Al Unser Jr., followed by de Ferran. You have an update on Jacques, Jan Bikas?
Yes, I do, Paul. They have finally now confirmed that it is gearbox trouble, just like Derek thought it was. He is just trying to limp around and get as much points, or at least as much mileage as he can here today. Gary, you have more?
Just checking here with optimism now is the byword in the Penske camp. We were doing the math and wondering, could they stretch it? Could they make it without making a splash for fuel in the final laps? They say that Junior is one of the very best at conserving. They're short shifting. They've leaned it down. They are optimistic right now, and they're saying, yes, we can go the distance. I guess we're about to find out.
Well, he has an 8-second pad over second place de Ferran, so that's a pad that would allow a little stretch. Not very much. You can see how slick that corner is getting. A lot of marbles just off the line there. It would be difficult for anyone who wants to move out and pass almost anywhere on this circuit. Been a problem of the competition between Firestone and Goodyear. It's the byproduct of that competition. Tires are softer. They tend to throw marbles easier. And the marbles just hang there just off the line, and in the latter parts of the race it can make it very difficult. There's second place. Jimmy Vasser started in second place on this race. He, of course, is out for the Ganassi team. It's Brian Herta, who is the only car left in competition for that team. They run in 16.
Engineered by Mo Nunn. Brian Herta, High-Speed Herta is his nickname. He's been a winner here in the past on the Indy Lights series. Firestone Indy Lights, of course, producing so many front-running racing drivers. Technically very, very good with a racing car. But he was the innocent victim today of an attack by Paul Tracy when Tracy went to slide down the inside, got out of control. So Herta now can continue, but he's in 16th place.
You've been staying up to date. In fact, reports this week on Speed Week. What's the story with Ganassi, Vasser, Herta, that team? Do you have any idea? And also, you reported Greg Moore into position.
Players did announce, in fact, that they had formed a new association with Forsyth Racing to go IndyCar racing. Now, obviously, that money moves from Barry Green's team over to Forsyth. We presume Greg Moore, who has totally dominated the Indy Lights series this year, will move into that cockpit. That only makes logical sense. However, it's not confirmed yet. On the Ganassi front, there is no announcement yet, but we presume that he will re-sign Jimmy Vasser. I think, in fact, he has re-signed Jimmy Vasser, and we are led to believe that Brian Herta will also stay there for a second year.
This is the fight now. Rahal, Johansson, Pruitt. Pruitt is 4th, then Johansson, then Rahal. And they're all right together on the circuit. Unser Jr. has now 10 seconds. He's pulling away from de Ferran.
And Paul, here's the problem now for Bobby Rahal. He needs to get by Stefan Johansson and Scott Pruitt. However, they are embroiled in their own separate battle. This is for a good position, 4th and 5th, so they don't dare back off. So there's a catch-22 here between Rahal and Pruitt and Stefan Johansson.
Championship out of reach for Villeneuve here. It'll go on to a final race. And that'll become a tiebreaker on the wins as well. in that IndyCar point system. Look at that three-way battle.
And look at that defensive inside line by Pruitt. Comes down inside Matt Schuster, goes right to the apex, and Ray Hall again. He doesn't have the speed to catch Al Unser Jr., but he's certainly building the frustration level now at not being able to easily pass Johansson and Pruitt, for all good reasons, though.
Ever remember with that move by Ray Hall, having to go into the pits as Ray Hall comes around Johansson and stays there. So he gets around Johansson. Ray Hall should be able to go all the way to the end. That may be a key factor as we come to the final laps right after this.
Need new tires in a hurry? At America's Tire Company, we move fast.
Around Pruitt for fourth, and then Ray Hall making his move on Pruitt as well. So still at the top of the order is Al Unser Jr. 12 seconds ahead of DeFerrin with 2 laps to go.
Roger Penske spends a considerable amount of time talking to his driver on the radio. Every lap sometimes he will talk to him to update him on his nearest challenger, to talk him through how he needs to handle the closing portions of this race. Incidentally, if the radios ever go out on these Penskes, they have a digital message board on the steering wheel that they use to send information to the drivers.
Well, it looks like everybody's going to give it a shot for the final lap. White flag is out. Al Unser Jr. does not stop. DeFerrin does not stop. Will they make it all the way?
Tire marks on the nose, so the Penske's been in battle. It doesn't have far to go now.
They came across the line. Unser Jr. came across 12 seconds ahead of this man. DeFerrin looking for his best ever result. Al Unser Jr. keeping power, but definitely reduced speed a bit. Squeezing it slowly off the corners. Gordon in third, Johansson fourth. Good result for Stefan. Then Ray Hall, Pruitt, Fittipaldi, Tracy, Zampedri, and Bosell. Villeneuve is out of the points as Al Unser Jr. takes the win. The championship goes on to the final race of the season in 1 week at Laguna Seca. What a terrific run for the man who moved to his backup car after a crash on the start. Gil DeFerrin finishes this race in second. Now Robbie Gordon being challenged right at the end here by Stefan Johansson. Let's see if he can hold him off. Ray Hall moves inside of Johansson and challenges Johansson, but can't get it done. So it's DeFerrin, Gordon, Johansson, Ray Hall. Today's coverage of the IndyCars from Vancouver has been brought to you by Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born, by Goodyear #1 in tires, and by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
This is Michael Andretti's IndyCar. You can't get his engine, you can't get his tires, but you can get his motor oil. Texaco Haviland Formula 3. It's formulated to control volatility and fight oil vaporization. It provides complete protection, and it's the exact same Haviland you can buy right off the shelf, which, by the way, is a heck of a lot easier.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Beyond the Arctic Circle.
Slowed you down there in the end.
Well, 5th and 6th broke, and it was okay for the backside, but here you're for too long on the straight line, and you know there's no way we could keep up the speed.
Tell me, I know you wanted to win the championship here. You might win it here depending on the appeal, but now it goes down to the final race at Laguna. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's annoying. I think it's stupid anyway that there's an appeal that goes on for 4 months and that it keeps everybody waiting, not only us, but all the guys that are fighting for second position and so on, and it's a little ridiculous. It's not very professional, but, you know, that's the way it is, and we'll